This question, we return to Ms. Susan Reeder Jessee. If elected, what will you do to work with the county executive to fund the operating and capital FCPS budgets? Do you support an increase in maintenance of effort funding? Why or why not?
This one, okay. I think it's really important in this election to have a team put in place that really works together. I think people are going to be paying a lot of very close attention to that, and that will be the most effective way to launch that. I'm from this educational system. It's part of who I am, it's part of my children, it's part of my parents, so it is part of who I am. I know by talking and spending a great deal of time talking to CEOs and other companies that the #1 question asked to me was, what are your schools like? So I know the importance of having a strong educational system in place that people will want to come and bring their kids here and educate their kids along with their company. So that's very important. I understand that. I've heard that from people. I also think it's very important to have a partnership and an open mind when you're an elected official to understand the true needs, working with the school system. I think our children are our most valuable assets, and I think it's very proud as a parent that has 2 kids from this system of what they've been through in the school system here. It's given them great background. I know what competition is like in other counties and other states in order to get the best educated children, and I think it's simply working together. I mean, there's only one pot of money, that is true. I think maintenance effort is a starting point. I think not to consider the other expenses that come into play, operating expenses that you don't have control over, like fuel and things like that, and not consider that over maintenance effort is not a good way to run the business and approach the budgeting. I've spent a great deal, probably over 20 years, in the budgeting and finance background, so I understand, it takes a lot in order to satisfy all budgets and give everybody what they need. But, it's very important to me, it's very important to grow jobs, to have a strong school system in place, and maintenance effort, it's just a term I wish would go away. I think we need to give our kids the tools that they need in the classroom in order to succeed beyond. Thank you.
Ms. Norris, what would be your top priorities as a new council member, and how would you pay for those priorities?
Well, my top priority I alluded to before, because this is going to have to be done in the first couple of months, is setting up our charter government to be a working, well-facilitated government. So that is actually job 1, in my opinion. There are also many other priorities that we're going to have to deal with, and I think budget and taxation. There was a task force that looked at ways that we could raise revenue in the county, various forms of taxes that have either been cut or that we may want to look at increasing or finding other ways to use those different things, excise tax and things of that nature. I think we need to jump right on what that task force brought to light and decide how we need to balance the budget, and if there are needs that are coming in, how we're going to fund those. So I think budget and setting up the new charter government are going to be our top chores.
Mr. Otis, this person writes, why do you support MOE, maintenance of effort? Concern was here, it will destroy our public school system. No.
Well, the last thing I want to do is, I think we have a good school system. It doesn't mean it can't be improved, and it doesn't always take money. Every time a problem comes up, people want to throw money at it. It's time we throw some ideas at some of this stuff too. And there's some very bright people in this county, and I think if we run into some of these issues, we can sit down and talk these things through. I picked up a lot of good ideas on the campaign trail already in dealing with people. You've given a lot of thought to things, and I'd like to see that done. I know that if we're going to bring companies to this county, that one of the first questions they do ask is what kind of school system we have. And it better be good, it better be adequate, and it better serve the needs of our kids. I had the privilege of a good education. I know what it does, I know what difference it makes in your life, and I certainly want to make sure our children have the same opportunity.